Yep, a nugget on mindfulness. And I like to start the nuggets off with a joke. And this one isn't really a joke, but it's kind of cute. So we'll go through it and it ties into our topic. The person says, I think there are 4 important things to life: compassion for self and others, recognition that others have difficulties in life just like you, and to treat them as you treat yourself, allowing and accepting things to be as they are in this present moment, and 4th is peace of mind is the highest happiness. Or just remember the acronym CRAP for short. Kind of cute, but it's true. I like it. So shout out on this nugget because I wanted to do this nugget for a while, but the shout out is to Nathan Hart. We are diving into another crazy and probably weird topic for you, but it's all science-backed and great stuff. So click the like button, which I never asked you to do, and stay with me for another few minutes on this nugget. It's cool stuff. I got to hear a nugget from Nathan Hart recently that was very profound, and it ties perfectly into what I thought would be a perfect nugget anyway. It also ties perfectly into our most recent kind of series of nuggets we're talking about. It explains the essence of why some people just keep killing it at everything, like Nathan. Basically, if I take the whole conversation I had with him and I boil it down, Nathan was telling me that he is always present in whatever he's doing. That's his focus, his habit. He's not saying he hits it 100% of the time, although I bet he's pretty close. He was saying that he made the habit of keeping his focus on what he was doing at that moment intentionally. He practiced being present all the time. If he was meeting with me, that's the only thing he was doing. If he was doing college visits with his son, that's where his mind was at. If he was having a meeting with his sales or marketing or F&I teams, that's what he was focused on. If it was his family time or holiday, that's where his head was. He knew that was one of the keys to his success. His unbelievable productivity, his healthy stress levels, his overall happiness, really. Basically, that's the topic of this nugget, being mindful. Nathan put it best, and there isn't a whole lot more than I need to say about that, but I will anyway. I find it interesting that being mindful, and I like to call mindfulness a university term, is another key topic they're covering in this executive leadership course that I'm taking. And check out that nugget if you're not familiar with the LDD at Case Western that I'm going through. They have researched the top leaders in the world in every field, and one of the common denominators in all truly high performers is the skill of being mindful. They know through mountains of research on this topic that the habit of being mindful does a ton of great things for you. According to a Harvard Health article, here's a snapshot of some things that science knows mindfulness can do for you. Mindfulness improves your physical health. For example, things like it relieves stress, it treats heart disease, it lowers blood pressure, it reduces chronic pain, and it improves sleep. Mindfulness also improves mental health, things like depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, eating disorder, and substance abuse. Mindfulness also improves well-being. And by that, I think they mean just makes you more badass at everything and you enjoy life more, including the lows. Mindfulness is a real thing, and they're teaching it in school, and that's really cool and kind of crazy, I think. Mindfulness is a skill too, and you can make it a habit. Like basically everything we cover in the nuggets, you can get better at this topic through awareness and going and doing. If you're a stud at mindfulness, now you can go out and be a samurai. If you're like me, and this is something your folks or teachers didn't fill you in on growing up, you can still go to stud status quicker than you think. I know Nathan Hart, along with many others at the top of what they're doing, have made mindfulness a habit. I actually have an executive coach right now, and one of the courses she does is Romancing the Raisin. Really, it's called Romancing the Raisin, and it's about experiencing and eating, really experiencing and eating that raisin. Sounds crazy to me, but if you think about the point of that, It's about mindfulness and taking that practice to more important things, not just eating a raisin. You'll just keep making that a skill more and more as you practice it. It will become subconscious. Unfortunately, most of us are worried about the past or the future most of the time. And that is a huge part of the problem. Stressing about what happened in the past that you can't change or worrying about the future possibilities that may suck are not good for you. It is normal and we all do it, but it's not healthy. Most people go to bed stressing or worrying about life and wake up with the brain off to the races on the same stuff they were worrying about when they went to bed. And think about these stats the next time you're stressing out about something. I think these stats are pretty powerful. Research shows 90+%, that's right, 90+% of what we actually get worked up over or worry about either 1, doesn't ever happen. 2, we can't change it anyway. 3, we can't control it. So here's another kicker. Science proves that at least 50% of what we remember is made up anyway. So if you can't do anything about 90% of the problems and half of the 10% isn't real, or however you want to do that math, then why waste any valuable, extremely valuable time worrying and stressing about stuff? Just focus on what's going on right now. Most of the time, it's pretty good stuff too. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that there are huge benefits to practicing the skill of being mindful. And most of the people really kicking ass are doing it whether they know it or not. As far as the theme of the last several nuggets, think about this. The more mindful you are, the less stressed out you are. The more in the present moment you are, the more positive emotions you're going to experience, and the more things like your parasympathetic nervous system will get amped up. That's all renewal stuff. Being mindful makes you happier and healthier and more capable of enjoying and dealing with the ride of life. And I'm not downplaying the negative side on this either, really. I'm personally just practicing being more aware of crappy emotions or situations too, and taking them for what they are. If I have a clear intention and know what I want, and I keep going after it, even if it's at a calm, steady, not crazy, have to have it now pace, I know I'm going to run into plenty of roadblocks and crap. It's just part of the deal. But I'll get to where my focus was eventually, and I'll enjoy the ride more if I'm mindful. I'll also be a more effective leader and husband and dad and peer and everything else that's important. I'm just learning to be in each moment and recognize what's happening, good or bad, and respond instead of react to it. It's that old, you can choose how you react to what happens, not what happens kind of stuff. Accept things instead of resist things. And that's a big deal. The accept instead of resist. And I plan to do a nugget on the 5-minute rule, which gives a great, easy example of how to deal with those nasty, acute, bad moments. But accepting and resisting is important. Not to be all goofy, but it's really just experiencing it all along the way. The peaks and the valleys. Our bodies and minds are designed to do really amazing stuff too. A lot of times we are doing or seeing really amazing things and don't even realize it. Instead, we are in the future or the past, and usually it's thinking about our problems or BS that's gone on or going on. Mindfulness is about trying to stay in the here and now as often as possible and not worry about the future or drum up bad feelings from the past. Remember, most of that isn't or doesn't come true, and you can't control the rest of it anyway, so don't waste time worrying. Dr. Joe says wisdom is just a memory without the emotional charge, which I think is pretty interesting. Think about that. Now for the book review. The point of this nugget really is to show that the 1%ers are actively practicing mindfulness all the time, and you should learn about it. You can make it a habit, and there are huge benefits to it. One thing that prevents us from being mindful is life, and it's an inevitable crap. The book that I'm recommending puts a completely opposite spin on basically everything I just went through, but it gets to the same point. Quit resisting life in whatever circumstances you don't like or are worried about. Accept things for what they are and realize sometimes life blows. Whatever. That's part of the whole deal. Overall, life can be really killer if you focus your attention on the right stuff. That's why they say pay attention, by the way. Your attention is very valuable and you can only give it to so many things. So be careful what you're paying your attention to. Important side note, this book that I'm recommending also is not for kids or those who don't care for swearing. There is swearing in it. It's a great read though. It's a must read, so check it out. The book is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That's the actual title. And it's by Mark Manson. And it's only 224 pages. It's fantastic. So go check it out and work on being more mindful this week.